Hi friends and fellow Earth Angels, it's Gladys, and welcome back to another one of my weekly Sunday card readings. And this spread will start by covering September 26th through October 2nd, or whenever you're guided to watch, as I always intend these to be timeless readings, meaning whenever it shows up for you, that is the time that the messages are meant for you. So I feel like many of the EarthAngel Collective are in the midst of massive change. Many of you, your worlds look different. Maybe it's internally, it could be externally. A lot of things are coming into alignment for Earth Angels. And so with change comes sometimes that feeling of being on a rocking boat. You know, when I connect with the energy of the collective before I open space for us and I start the recorder, I usually get imagery. And the imagery that I saw this time was the imagery of a seesaw. And of course, here comes the sirens that have been nonstop the last couple days. Again, Archangel Michael is my symbol. I connect Archangel Michael with sirens, fire trucks, ambulances, cop cars. It means help's on the way, you're not alone. So that's just a little added message here, but I keep seeing the seesaw. So we're in massive energy right now. We are in the middle of the full moon in Pisces, which is can bring up a lot of emotional, magical energy, right? A lot of spiritual energy. I believe Pisces is one of the most spiritual, intuitive of the zodiac, next to the Cancer energy. We also just shifted into, in the northern hemisphere here, we just had the fall equinox. We're now in the season of fall here. As this is being recorded, I'm getting ready, preparing for Mercury to go retrograde. When this is live, Mercury will be retrograde, which is the planet of communication, travel, and electronics. So, and on top of it, we've shifted into the Libra energy, and with Libra, I connect Libra with the justice scale, right? So it's no coincidence that I'm seeing the seesaw and the energy of balance, and we can feel like we're going up and down, and that can make us seasick. So I feel like one of the messages, one of the messages I want to share with you before I open up space and start channeling the cards is to remind yourself about balance this week. You know, we're amongst change, things are happening, it's all good, right? But for Earth Angels being so sensitive, it's really important to be mindful of your own energy and how you're feeling. And I think that rings true with the message that Archangel Raguel brought to us last week in last week's reading about maintaining a healthy body, right? And your vessel and your vehicle, because that is going to be an indicator of where you're at and how you're feeling. So again, some of you may feel out of sorts this week. You may be having to bring things into balance. There may be some stuff that comes up. So the Mercury retrograde is in Libra. So it could be legal matters, which again, if you have legal matters or disputes or things that come up, call on the Archangel Michael. Archangel Raguel. Archangel Raguel is the angel of fairness and justice. He also helps with relationship harmony. Because this retrograde is in Libra, some relationship stuff can come up for you, a relationship with yourself or others. And again, this stuff is coming up to surface to be cleared out. You know, I always see a retrograde, especially the Mercury retrograde, as like a slingshot, and the energy is being pulled back. And the idea is right now, you want to direct your energy on where you want to go, how you want to feel. So it's like taking aim, right? So that when the energy releases, or you release that slingshot, the energy goes in the direction of your dreams, right? It goes in the direction of your heart's desires. And so the discomfort or challenges that some may experience during this massive energy shift is really a way to show you maybe you're shifting out of something, maybe it's time to move something, maybe it's time to release something, and it really could be our own resistance and get out of our own way sometimes. So all right, so let me open up space. Let me start here. Actually, you know what, I want to let you know what cards I'm working with first. So I am going to be working with pulling a guide from Keepers of the Light. I've been wanting to use this deck for a while, so I was called this week, and an additional message of healing will come from crystal angels. Action steps that you can take this week to support your healing will come from Nature's Whispers. What you're being gifted with will come from the Oracle of the Unicorns. And then I'll finish with an affirmation, overall message from the Gateway Oracle cards by Denise Lynn. All right, so let's get into this here. Let me open up space, inviting in all your guardian angels and guides, the archangels, the ascended masters, the divine mother and father, and all their holy beings of light that would like to assist with this guidance for you today and this week. And I'm going to ask that the messages that come through be for your best and highest good, and the best and highest good of all concerned. Thank you. All right, so I am going to connect my heart to the heart of the Keepers of the Light in this deck to support you this week. All right, Keepers of the Light, what is the most important message and guide the EarthAngel Collective needs this week? Let's just move this over. All right, let's begin. This one. All right, we have Saint Germain, karma releasing. This is such a perfect card, and it's interesting because Mercury retrograde, like the Mercury energy, reminds me of this color. I don't know why, it just does. So it says, move beyond drama, create your own path, make room for good energy. So again, with the Mercury retrograde in the sign of Libra, again, it can bring up relationship stuff, right? And let's see here. And then karma releasing. So an inquiry question going into this week to the divine and Saint Germain would be, what am I holding on to that's ready to be released? Now, you know, when you do this work that you will get an answer. So you want to be in space where you're ready to relinquish, right? And so here's how it works. Discomfort and adversity and challenge is always an opportunity to grow. So what could you be holding on to? People, places, things, ideas, right? Old belief systems, old ways of doing things. It could be about your relationship dynamics. There's so much going on here where I'm just seeing like massive healing. So I'm also seeing so many angels too. I see the Archangel Uriel, who is the angel of forgiveness. So how can you maybe release, as you go into these next few weeks, the energy of like grudges, or the energy of expectations on people. Maybe there's some disharmony, this discomfort, maybe there's some disagreement, and how can you use this energy with Libra and the Mercury retrograde and the fall harvest, which really is abundance time, right? And being able to release anything that, or any energy that is stopping new energy from coming in. And sometimes it's just an intention. Maybe you have an experience or situation that's come up and you don't know how to problem solve it, or you don't know how to move through it. Practicing surrender, I release this to the divine. I release this to the ethers, to the universe, to be sorted out, and then you can get busy doing other things, right? So it says here, move beyond drama. So where are you being sucked in that's activating your hot button, or that's triggering to you, right? So for me, when I'm triggered, I feel like jitters in my chest. I might feel my stomach start to burn a little bit. I may have tension in my middle back. And really sometimes it's just a matter of allowing that energy to move through your body. The last few nights, I personally have just been restless. And I know emotional energy is moving up and out. For the most part, things have been neutral for me, which is really needed because I am still in a space of grieving. But still, waking up in the middle of the night and feeling restless, feeling pain in my body, and again, not really being able to connect it to something, having patience with myself to allow the energy to move up and out. I knew something was happening, something was being released. Could have been residual angers or frustrations that I knew or didn't know. And so again, you could be having drama within your own body. So how can you lean into that and be supportive and loving and gentle during this time of massive purging and massive releasing? How can you sometimes, people who are struggling or in pain, sometimes they unconsciously look to pull from the light, to pull from earth angels, right? So there may be people in your life who maybe pulling at you, or you feel like there's this taking, right, or needing more. And again, remember, they're teaching you about boundaries. They're teaching you about being able to say no to things, right? So it goes both ways here. So this isn't putting labels or judgments on anybody, but where can you recognize where you're being pulled and tugged, unrealistic expectations, confrontations, and again, where can you opt out? Where can you disconnect? Where can you pull away and choose not to go there, right? It could be, again, so much so within your own space. Maybe you'll recognize that inner critic. Maybe you'll recognize patterns and behaviors that aren't serving you anymore. And I cannot stress enough, this is a really important time to have patience and love with yourself, and being kind to yourself, compassionate, right? Because when there's growth, if you think about a child who has aches and pains, parents will take them to the doctors, and the doctors will say, oh, they're fine. It's growing pains, right? You think about a child that's going to be tall in life, and they grow really fast, and they're clumsy a little bit, and their bodies are growing faster than they can develop, right? So and this is happening on a spiritual level. There's so much new information being downloaded on this planet, friends. We're cycling out the old spiritual energy that's been regurgitated over and over and over again, and there's so many of you loving, beautiful, open, wise beings that are here to channel and receive new information. I see like Thomas Edison, right, and the invention of the light bulb. I see like the Wright brothers and the invention of the planes, right? So if you think about these energies, right? They were downloaded with information that gifted the planet with comfort and a life-changing world, a world that just changed on a massive level, right? So I believe that energies like that channel from a higher source, and this is what earth angels have come here to do. We're here to channel from our higher source. So, you know, the readings for the last few months have been about intuition and creating space and listening and following the leads of the Holy Spirit and moving forward in the light, even even on your own, if nobody understands what you're doing and why you're doing it, right? You're being downloaded with new information that the world may or may not be ready for. So these things can come up, right? These things, the pulling and tugging, can come up, right? And it's just making you stronger. So create your own path, make room for good energy. And good energy is just that of love, that of inner peace, that of joy from the inside out. And again, remember, I say this so often, when light expands within you, that fear love that's also in there is gonna want to constrict, and or you can call it the ego or the forces on the planet, right? And it really is part of like, just like we breathe, we expand, our lungs expand and contract and expand and contract, and it's part of us taking in and releasing. That is exactly what's going on within us energetically and spiritually and the planet as a whole. So understand, the more you activate this self-sovereignty, this self-independence, this empowerment from the inside out, your light and your energy is like taking a big, deep, giant breath in, and that which no longer resonates or a vibrational match to that needs to come up and out, right? So this is giving you an opportunity to get clarity this week and these next few weeks about who you are, your identity, and what your values are and what you believe in, right? And anything that's not a vibrational match needs to go. Now, this doesn't mean you have to start calling everybody and saying, oh, your energy no longer serves me anymore. Or doesn't mean you have to follow paperwork and telling everybody, you know, to leave out of your life. That's not what this is about. It's about getting busy doing that which you love. Get busy doing the things that light you up, and nature will take care of the rest, I promise, you know. And this is why it's so important, if you're grieving, if you're at the end of cycles and still in the liminal space where the new beginnings haven't come in yet, it's a really great time for you to honor that space of nothingness and really comfort and self-soothe with anything that might be coming up during this time. Saint Germain is the keeper of the violet fire or violet flame, which is an instant transmutation tool. So you can, if you have stuff that's coming up. So last night when I had I was restless and I was feeling pain in my body and I couldn't get comfortable, and for a brief 10 minutes I just felt myself tossing and turning and getting aggravated. I activated that violet fire flame. I called on Saint Germain and I just asked, I release this energy to the violet fire for transmutation. And what it is it releases the energy with the Tao and working with energy. Energy needs a place to go, right? And so you can send the released energy to the earth. If you imagine like digging a hole and sending the energy to the earth, and Mother Earth will use it to transform it into, recycled, beautiful energy, feeding the planet with nutrients, right? So she'll transform it. Or you can send the released energy to the violet fire for transmutation. And really, the violet fire is a bubble of light that surrounds you. It's a layer that's around you. And when you intend to send released energy to the violet fire of transmutation, it like disintegrates like water on a hot stove. It just disintegrates. And so I feel like that's crucial for so many of you this week. If you're releasing, send that energy somewhere so that it can be recycled. Really, it's the energy of the Tao. I teach a lot of it, and I know energy therapy practitioners talk a lot about sending energy and commanding energy. Energy needs a place to go. Chi needs a place to go. So use our Saint Germain and his violet fire of light to disintegrate that energy. And I have to say, after I did that, friends, I fell right to sleep. So instead of me stewing about it and getting into what it could possibly be, I just felt it and I accepted it, and it moved through my body so fast, and I called on support, and then it was gone and I was asleep, and the next thing I knew, the alarm was going off. So again, that's a great guide to work with this week, especially as Mercury Retrograde represents redoing, renewing, revisiting, reviewing, kind of like the re-energy, recalling. All right, so let me see here. Saint Germain, what message of healing do you have for the Earth Angels this week? And again, now that he's come out, it's perfect that I pulled the crystals, because crystals are perfect for transformation. I got lapis lazuli here and beautiful cleansing energy. So, all right, Saint Germain, what message of healing do you have for the collective this week? So there's 2 here, and we have spiritual path, right? Make room for good, create your own path. And we have turquoise energy, which is spiritual path. This is your true beliefs are becoming clearer to you, which prompts you to make necessary life changes. Yeah, so Saint Germain is saying, hey, listen, I know stuff is going to come up, and if we can have patience through it and work with the divine forces that want to support you, as you move through it, your spiritual path becomes more clear. Turquoise is a beautiful, powerful energy. I connect the color turquoise with the Holy Spirit, right? I also connect the Holy Spirit with the divine wisdom of the Trinity. The Holy Spirit is connected to the wisdom, right? And this is what I was talking about, downloading, receiving new information, new ways of doing things. Some of you could be inventors. Some of you may have inventions that haven't taken form yet. Some of you may have new ideas that are changing these paradigms of these old systems that might be in the medical system or the education system or the political system or the food industry, right? Remember, there's nothing that you can't do with Creator. There's nothing that you can't do. You are a child of the Most High God. You are powerful with God, right? God, source, creator. So, this comes from a place of believing in your space and believing in your journey that you're exactly where you're supposed to be. If you're in a space of constantly looking externally and not feeling satiated or not feeling satisfied or not feeling that what you have right now is enough, and from there, you're just going to expand, you'll always be externally looking for something outside of you to kind of fill that void, right? So, and I know so many of you have been working on that. And so I feel like these messages are now a way forward, and they're preparing you for the downloads that you'll receive. Pay attention to your dreams. Pay attention to repetition of animals and spirit guides and birds and insects that keep popping up in your life. Pay attention to repetitive words that keep coming up. Pay attention to your books. They may be calling you back to it. I have been reviewing old books that I hadn't read in a while, and again, it's new information. So you want to fill and surround yourself with that stuff because it will keep you inspired. It's when we start getting into like the 3D world that we get lost in the world of illusions, right? And that's where dramas and confusions kick in. So you want to have that tether, you want to have that connection to the divine on a regular basis. Yes. So the next card, of course, is Rose Quartz. Love life. New or renewed romantic love is here for you. So the divine is saying here they want you to do life with love. They want you to enjoy your life in partnership. Maybe it's a new community, maybe it's a new network. This could be literal for some of you. A new romantic love is coming into your life. I mean, that is happening especially with this beautiful Libra energy that comes in. I believe Libra is ruled by Venus, and Venus is the planet of love and beauty. So this could be a really great time. So any residual stuff, codependency, addiction, control, fear, anything that can really throw a monkey wrench in a relationship, maybe that stuff will come up and out. Maybe, you're moving towards a loving dynamic and loving people. And again, too, is you want to make sure that what you're doing, you love, that you enjoy. I absolutely enjoy my practice. I enjoy my office. I love the clients that I'm attracting. I love the work that I do. And in that space, I call on the universe and I throw those rockets of desire saying, more of this in my life or something even better. We're manifesting at a really fast rate. So you want to work with maintaining that energy of inner peace, stability, security, and love from the inside out. And there's so many of you that have done so much really good work on your spiritual journey, right? So I feel like they're saying like this is all coming along, and these couple weeks might be intense. It may be you might be seeing a lot of things where you're feeling like, man, how come we're not shifting? You might be looking externally, and that's where you've got to kind of pull back and know that everybody is in their own stage, in their own space, and nothing is as it seems, right? And this is where we got to accept people for who they are, and again, they may be a match, they may not, but when we can accept people as they are, right, instead of the judgments that they should be any other way than they are, it frees us to be able to see their unique qualities and observe them from a different space of not necessarily what you should be to me and do for me, but who you are in general, right? So observation, observing these next couple weeks, especially this week, pulling back. And if you're struggling with a person, it could be a coworker, it could be a neighbor, it could be a child, it could be a parent, it could be your own self. Ask the divine to give you some perspective. Show me the light and love in this person. Show me their gifts. Show me their unique qualities. But again, that ego might flare up and saying, I don't want to see it. Or that ego might say, well, I'm holding on to this. And that's fine, but it's not doing anything for your own energy, right? So where can we kind of look at where the ego is holding on, right? And it's important to know the ego. It's important to recognize fear and to embrace it, because that's when you can alchemize it. That's when you can transform the energy and you actually come into peace with the ego when you can recognize it. It really is a beautiful relationship, friends. That's always ongoing, because that energy can be sneaky and tricky, right? But if you're present and aware and you're filled up energetically and you're balanced, and you're working on yourself, things come in alignment and you can get that wisdom and that clarity about why you're having the experiences you're having. But also to remember, you don't have to do it alone. There's plenty of support out there. If you are challenged with a support system in a healthy way, if you're challenged with a support system of people on your spiritual path, invite the divine in your life. Archangel Raguel, right? I was saying earlier, Archangel Raguel is the angel of relationship harmony. Invite him in your life and ask him to assist in bringing aligned, loving, gentle, compassionate, spiritually faith-filled people in your life, if that's what you so desire, right? All right, so let me see here. Beautiful energies, turquoise and rose quartz. God, those are so beautiful together. Love. Let's see here. Okay, so what action steps can you take this week to support your healing? Saint Germain, what action steps? Whoa, that's way too many. What action steps can the collective. Action steps can they take to support their healing this week? Let's see here. Here we go with that. Oh, trust your own understanding. So, and this is card number 32, which is 5. 5 is about transformation and change, right? Change from the inner, our thought systems, belief systems, the way we move through life. We're in a universal 5. So 2021 equals 5. So we're in the universal 5 energy. So, and we're just dropping into, this is the last week of September. We're just dropping into the last quarter, right? Well, we're in the last quarter, but the last few months of 2021. And so things might seem blurry, hazy, foggy, confusing. And so your action steps will be trust your own understanding. And again, the best way I can describe it is when again, Thomas Edison worked with inventing the light bulb, this invention, trusting his own understanding. I keep feeling Joan of Arc, right? And she trusts the image and the vision of Archangel Michael, and she trusted her own understanding and her own spiritual path. And I believe she was a seamstress, or I believe she sewed, and she received this vision from the Archangel Michael, and she changed the course of France's history with her going to battle, right? Ultimately, she was burned at the stake for listening to that vision. Well, the books say she was burned at the stake for cross-dressing, but ultimately it was her listening to her intuition and listening to an angel, right? Which wasn't allowed at that time, but it is now. The feminine energy is expanding, and so many of you, whether you're a masculine energy or feminine energy, you're activating your own inner feminine energy, which is wisdom, it's connection, it's feeling, it's receptivity, it's love, right? That's this feminine energy that's rising up. So you're getting more in touch with your intuition and your feelings and the wisdom within you, and being able to receive insight and wisdom. So trust your own understandings, right? Keep a journal if you're having ideas or things are coming up for you. Maybe if you're having dreams, keep a journal of your dreams, understanding that dreams are almost never literal. There's always undertones to a dream, and it usually relates to a part of us, right? So if you're dreaming about a person, it's very rare that it's literally about that person. It's more so about how that person represents a part of you in some way. That's Carl, just a very touch on Carl Jung's work in the shadow work. So, if you're paying attention to your dreams, write them down, connect with somebody, a therapist, somebody who does shadow work, and who is a Jungian, a follower of Carl Jung's teachings, to help you decipher these energies, right? The goddess energy is really prevalent on this planet right now, and these forces are powerful. So, very many of you are receiving insight and wisdom that could be like Joan of Arc, and that people may not understand it. And, God bless her. She was a Christian. She was a faith-filled woman. She loved God and the divine, and as she was burning at the stake, she said, raise those crosses high so that I can see them above the flames. Remember, the cross represents unconditional love. The cross represents a way out of the box, right? It's a key. So again, the symbolism of the cross, and the connection to unconditional love and accessing the divine love and the divine forces that work within you that's your key to the way out of the box of pain and suffering, right? That's your key out. And from there, you get access to a plethora of information and knowledge and wisdom and insight that so many of you are ready to receive. It's really exciting, and I can't wait to watch and be part of, what you experience and how you evolve and grow. So many of you who watch this channel, our clients that check in, and it's such a beautiful thing that you give me an opportunity to work with you and support you and inspire you on your own journey. It just inspires me as well. So what are you being gifted with this week? Saint Germain, what is the Earth Angels being gifted with this week? Okay, so there's 2 here that I'm gonna pull. So you're being gifted with delight. Absolutely. Look at the wishes. Yes. So it says, count your blessings and enjoy life, right? It's just saying we don't have to suffer, right? We can allow experiences to come and go and release them. It says, take pleasure in simple things. Always expect the best. That's one of my mantras. Everything works out well for me. Like when disharmony or discomfort comes up, I'm like, oh yeah, that's right. Everything works out well for me. I personally am having a lot of fun with manifesting and creating and working with divine energy and the energy of the fall equinox and the harvest and the abundance energy. I'm really having fun, enjoying playing with energy and creating and working with my feminine energy of receptivity, and it is absolutely delightful, right? So it says always expect the best. So I feel like this is reminding you not to get lost in the world of illusions, right? If you're feeling overwhelmed or something is aggravating you, annoying you, remember that's because your tank is full, and chances are you need sleep, you need rest, you need a break, you need to get filled up. So maybe going for a massage, or going for energy work, or maybe going for a session with a spiritual coach or mentor, maybe listening to some spiritual fulfilling videos that can fill up your tank. Sometimes it's just sitting, pulling some Palo Santo out and clearing your space and just sitting with the love of all that is that surrounds you. That can be delightful this week. And the next is trust. You're being gifted with trust this week. It says, leap into the unknown. Have faith and move forward. Believe you will fly. Friends, I mean, this is such a powerful messages. Trust your own understandings. Believe you will fly. Count your blessings and enjoy your life. Take pleasure in simple pleasures. Where's the other one here? Make room for good energy. Create your own path, right? So again, it's a soul journey, friends. Soul as in singular and soul as in higher. You've come to this planet to evolve, and what a gift, what a blessing, what a treasure it is to live on this planet with these energies and these frequencies in ways that our ancestors were never able to access, right? It's so fascinating and so fun, and this is why these partnerships are coming in, right? Men and women, masculine energies and feminine energies are harmonizing those and integrating those energies within, and they're coming together, and it's fun and it's exciting and it's powerful. So if you're holding on to something that's no longer a vibrational match, just be willing to release the reins. Just be willing to release the control. There are a lot of things that I was so afraid of releasing, that when I did, I found a deeper sense of self-love for myself. Being able to release those things that weren't healthy for me, or weren't a vibrational match for me, or weren't contributing to the quality of life I was creating for myself. Just being willing to release, knowing that God had my back and that everything worked out well for me. It activated this self-sovereignty. It activated this empowerment with me to believe and know that I can do anything. Anything is possible, right? So I'm in this liminal space in my life. I'm in a 9 of my 9-year cycle, and I have had a lot of endings, and there's some new beginnings that have come in, but I'm in this space of nothingness right now, in this space of healing. My sweet puppy transitioned, and again, as divine timing would have it, it was the perfect time for him to go, and he just knew I was going to be okay, and it was time for him to say sayonara. He sent me off in good space, and he sent me off in love and being comforted and joyful, and it was just really his act of love for me and my act of love for him, and being able to give him back to the angels. It really was divine, and so now I'm in this liminal space, and I'm clearing up the loose ends in preparation for the next cycle. But so many of you, because we're on this planet, we're in the 5 energy, and so we're in this in-between space right now, which again, fears can get activated, which is again all reminders all throughout this reading this week. And it's great. Revisit these readings. If you are finding these readings empowering and you have a tendency to forget sometimes and get lost, which is very human and very normal, like the video and it will save. It saves to your like videos, or mark it in some way, or write it down in a journal. And not just my videos, but if there are things out there that are inspiring you, keep it around, revisit it so that you have support to remain in that sacred space that's going to allow you to receive the gifts that life has to offer. All right, and so let me finish here with an overall message from the Gateway Oracle. So this is an affirmation. This can kind of be like a buoy for you, something to hold on, maybe a life jacket for you this week if things get like wavy or stormy. And again, it's all good. Be excited about it, because that means you're moving energy and things are shifting. So let's see, what's going to be your tether? What's going to be your affirmation to ground you this week, support you? Okay, see, pops right out. Cherishing self. I accept and love myself. Boom. And all my favorite things are here. I love tea. This could be tea or coffee. I love both of them. Sweet treats, right? I joke that I came to this planet to indulge and enjoy chocolate because no other planet has chocolate. Roses are my favorite. I love champagne and wine, although I don't drink it hardly anymore. I love gifts. Fruits, right? This looks like pear and lettuce and maybe some blueberries. So it just seems like a table of nourishment, of balance, right? There's maybe coffee or tea, but there's sweet treats, and there's nature here, and there's nourishment, and there's some surprises here, right? And there's some bubbly or some champagne or wine, right? That kind of heats up the body and can be very romantic, right? So I feel like this card is just reminding you to buoy and tether yourself to yourself, right? When things get stormy or emotional, or you're feeling the tides, the energy rocking, cherish self and anchor into I accept and love myself, right? Especially if you find yourself like trying to perform or achieve or make something happen, how can you release that and come back to the self, trusting, right? Trusting your own understanding. Trust. I'm seeing all of it here as it's all unfolding. The loving life here, accepting, I love and accept myself, finding delight in that as all of this is moving out of your life. let Saint Germain handle that, right? Send that released energy to the violet fire for transmutation. This is so exciting, right? It's always a call back to the self, right? And remember, you are never separate from Source. You are from Source. You are a divine being having a human experience on this planet. So, this is a beautiful reminder of who you are, right? And you are love. You are the divine. You are an empowered earth angel on this planet to gift the planet with your presence, right? With your energy. Because when you feel good, the people around you feel good. And when they feel good, the people around them feel good. And when they feel good, the people around them feel good. So, I notice it in my own world. I'm a naturally joyful, wild-eyed, excited, spiritually gifted woman, and that draws people in, right? It empowers other people. It activates that excitement and wild-eyed curiosity in others. I've been experiencing that a lot in my life lately, and it's really fun playing with giving and receiving energy with like-minded people, right? And that comes from me knowing who I am, standing in self-sovereignty as an empowered person on this planet in full faith, right? And that just didn't fall out of the sky, friends. That took all this stuff that I talk about, all this work that you've been doing. This is where you're moving to, first and foremost, accepting and loving yourself, cherishing yourself. So do something kind for yourself. Maybe it's a bath, maybe it's a salted foot bath, maybe it is soft music, maybe it's comfy clothes, maybe it's getting some water, maybe it's going for a nice long walk, enjoying a sunrise or a sunset. Do something this week in slow motion as Mercury goes retrograde and the intensity of the planet kicks up. You may need to spend some time with yourself, right? And just kind of unplug, cherishing yourself. All right, so let me close space here. Let me thank all your guardian angels and guides, the archangels, the ascended masters, the divine mother and father, and all their holy beings of light that assisted with this guidance. I want to thank the energy of the keepers of the light deck, and specifically Saint Germain for kicking off this beautiful, powerful reading for us. I'm going to imagine the EarthAngel Collective surrounded in that violet fire of light, and if you forget or you're in the midst, I'm going to intend that as energy is being released, that's no longer a vibrational match. I'm going to intend that energy goes to the violet fire for transformation for you. And so it is. I don't know if I said this already, but I'm going to intend that any healing that was started this week continue for as long as it needs to be done. So it is. All right, so I just want to thank you so much for your comments and your messages, your cards that you sent, your emails. I am behind, as you can see. I did have to take some time off, so I'm just still catching up on appointments and emails and stuff, but I will take the time to get back, and I just want to thank you so much. It's been so comforting to feel the love, as I've been moving through this, this grief. My doggy was my best friend, and I'm in much better space now, and I'm starting to get my energy back and feel better. As many of you know, I'm a quadruple Cancer, so my sun, my moon, my rising, and my Mercury all falls under Cancer, so I have a tendency to isolate, to go within, to seek comfort within myself, and so that this transition has really activated that within me, and so I have to honor it, and I just really appreciate you understanding and your kind words and your support, and this is how I can share that self-care with you, right? So thank you for being who you are. Thank you for showing up and just being part of this channel and sharing energy. I appreciate it so much. I love you. God loves you so much. Trust in the divine, trust your intuition, and I send you love with heavenly hugs. Bye for now.